Ladies and gents, polish those shoes and crank the gramophone. It's time to dive headfirst into the decade that danced like no one was watching, the Roaring Twenties. Now we got flappers and fringe and bootleg gin, jasmine blowing as the night rolls in. From Harlem Nights to Hollywood gold, stories untold, scandal and bold. We regret nothing. We're talking swing, we're talking sass, top hats, headlines, and backstage pass. We regret nothing.
Welcome back to We Regret Nothing, the podcast where we curate the very best of human culture, decade by decade, pack it into a space capsule for alien civilizations to discover later. We're in season 1, the 1920s. So far, we've chosen our 5 movies. Now, it's time to finish the book on literature. Over the last 2 episodes, Andrea and Michelle and I worked our way through 20 of the most notable books of the decade, narrowing them down to a list of top 10. Today, the real tension begins. By the end of this conversation, only 5 books will survive to represent the 1920s in our cultural time capsule. Which novels capture the true spirit of this decade? Which authors stand the test of time? And which ones will be left behind, no matter how much we may love them? So, grab your flapper dress, your newsboy cap, and maybe a stiff drink, because today's decision is gonna hurt. Let's get into it. Hello, Michelle.
Hello.
Hello, Andrea.
Fun.
Okay, then. Let's start with let's just recap our top 10 books of the 1920s. In no particular order, we ended up with The Weary Blues, Velveteen Rabbit, The Great Gatsby, The Wasteland, The Sun Also Rises, Mrs. Dalloway, Siddhartha, the Maltese Falcon, A Mysterious Affair at Styles, and Main Street. Any thoughts about our top 10 before we jump into these books?
I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah.
I feel like we did an okay job.
Yeah. This is
Pat
I know
ourselves
this is
on
gonna
the back.
hurt. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this is gonna be tough.
Yay on us.
Yeah. I feel like this is gonna be tough.
It's gonna be tough.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's jump into it. So let's just start with number 1. This was introduced by Andrea in our segment, You Get One. This is The Weary Blues, a poem by American poet Langston Hughes. This was written in 1925. Langston Hughes was known as one of the most prominent and influential figures of the Harlem Renaissance, a rebirth movement of African Americans in the arts during the 1920s. He wrote about the world around him, giving a voice to African Americans during a time of segregation. Hughes was both a contributor and supporter of his fellow African American writers. Collectively, this group changed the way the world viewed African Americans because of their talents and ability to capture real life and turn it into art. Hughes wrote of inequality, of resilience, of pride, of hope, and of music. The Weary Blues takes place at an old Harlem bar on Lenox Avenue. There's a piano player playing the blues. As he plays, the speaker observes his body movement and the tone of his voice. Throughout the poem, several literary devices are employed to guide the reader through the complex mixture of emotions the blues player is experiencing. This vivid imagery and the use of language gives the reader a more personal glimpse into the life of the man who's playing the blues. I'm going to stop there. Andrea, you introduced it, so I'll ask you thoughts on The Weary Blues.
I remember when we were in school and teacher, even in college, when a teacher would read a poem and they would like read it, and like you might be enjoying it and your fellow classmates are kind of like laughing. You've always got, but when I read this poem, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry to any teacher that like maybe I laughed along because I didn't want to seem like it's so good and it just flows and
It's like a song.
It is.
I think I don't know like if that was intentional.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of, I think there is a lot of thanks English teachers. This is foreshadowing. This is symbolism. This is, and I don't know that necessarily, that they were really doing that, but I think maybe this was intentional, right? I think
could speak to. I was just like, this is freaking art. Like I could see it when I read it, and it just yeah. I think it's fantastic. I absolutely love it. And I mean, Langston Hughes could just evoke, and yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
Yeah.
Michelle, anything more?
No, I completely agree. I think this is a fantastic ad. Kudos to you. This was a smart ad. Like it really is. You can visualize it, right? Which I think is what good poetry is supposed to make you do. And this 100% does that. So it was a good ad.
Okay, good. Okay, so moving to book number 2, The Velveteen Rabbit. This was introduced by Michelle during that same segment. You get one. Velveteen Rabbit, or How Toys Become Real, was also published under that title. But this is a British children's book by Marjorie Williams, illustrated by William Nicholson. It chronicles the story of a stuffed rabbit's desire to become real through the love of his owner. This story was first published in Harper's Bazaar in 1921 and then published as a book in 1922. It's been republished many times since, but the overall plot is a stuffed rabbit sewn from velveteen, which I didn't know why it was called the Velveteen Rabbit. But a stuffed rabbit, which is sewn from velveteen, is given as a Christmas present to a small boy. The boy plays with his other new presents and forgets the rabbit for some time. And then, so the wisest and oldest toy in the nursery is the skin horse. So some of this is freaking me out. Sorry.
Yeah, nobody listen. It's not a great name.
Which was owned by the boy's uncle, who tells the rabbit, who he feels sorry for, about toys being made real by the love of children. And says, real isn't how you were made. It's a thing that happens to you when a child loves you for a long, long time. Not just to play with, but really loves you, you become real. So the rabbit is now awed by this idea. It's all consuming.
What's happening?
Oh no. Are you getting, Michelle, are you getting, okay. And so one night the boy's nanny gives a rabbit to the boy to sleep in the place of a toy that the young boy lost. And then rabbit becomes the boy's favorite toy. Time passes, and the boy regards the rabbit as real. So time passes, the rabbit becomes older, shabbier, but remains happy. He meets some real rabbits in the summer. They learn about the Velveteen Rabbit cannot hop as they do. So they say he's not a real rabbit.
Cute and fuzzy bunnies.
Is that where this is from?
I don't think so, but that's what I call them.
I would like to believe that it is.
That's the lore I'm sticking with.
In, sir?
Yes.
No.
So then one day the boy comes down with scarlet fever.
Oh boy.
The rabbit sits with him as he recovers. The doctor orders that the boy should be taken to the seaside, and that his room should be disinfected and all his books and toys burnt, including the Velveteen Rabbit. Rabbit's bundled into a sack, left out in the garden overnight, where he reflects sadly on his life with the boy. Toy rabbit cries, a real tear drops onto the ground, and a marvelous flower appears. Fairy steps out of the flower, comforts the Velveteen Rabbit, introducing herself as the nursery magic fairy. She says that because he has become real to the boy who truly loves him, she will take him away with her and turn him real to everyone.
Then he ends up with cute and fuzzy bunnies.
The fairy takes the rabbit to the forest where she meets the other rabbits. She kisses the Velveteen Rabbit. The Velveteen Rabbit changes into a real rabbit and joins the other rabbits in the forest.
I know.
Are you
very emotional?
Okay, getting emotional. Let's talk about this. Velveteen Rabbit, Michelle.
I love that it's so wholesome, right? Even though there's some, like those mean, cute and fuzzy bunnies. And that, parents still read this book to their children, right? It's on like is it Caldecott is the children's one? Is that right? The Caldecott
What's it called?
Award.
Yeah.
Is that for kids?
Sorry, I had to
so it's like perennial. Yeah, it's like the little ribbon. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks, libraries. But that
which we need.
Yeah. Yes, please. That, it's still on all of recommended lists for children and, teaching them that it's not what you look like, or what, that you're loved no matter what. So I don't know. It's just very wholesome on a list full of really kind of unlikable characters. No, again, a sign of the times, but I just felt like maybe this would be a nice little ad.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to make 5. I'm just saying.
Michelle.
I'm sorry. I know I broke the rule. Almost.
Anything.
Yeah, I do have a note here, and it reads, "Fuck you, Shell."
Oh no!
Oh my God, this book traumatized young Andrea. Like traumatized. That's why I never wanted to get rid of any of my stuffed
Is
animals.
that my thing? Is that why I'm like a hoarder?
I was positive that I was throwing this book. It is brilliant, but oh my God! I mean, I'm just sitting here crying over the synopsis that I know.
Yeah.
Do I own a copy of this? Yes. Would I never, ever give it away? Yes. I mean, it is. Yeah.
It's so good.
That's my thoughts.
Okay.
Fuck you, Shell.
Good. Let's not have that be the thought.
First of many.
Okay. Oh boy. Okay. Number 3, The Great Gatsby. And so I just want to go over some of the cultural impacts of this book. We went pretty hard already on this book, and Fitzgerald, all that. But let me just start with World War One, right? Like the echoes of World War One. So the book we talked about, set in 1922, 4 years after the end of World War One, the Great War, as it was known then. That's still a little bit weird, but so this novel reflects the ways in which that conflict transformed American society. The war left Europe devastated and marked the emergence of the U.S. as the preeminent power in the world. From 1920 to 1929, America enjoyed an economic boom with a steady rise in income levels, business growth, construction, and trading on the stock market. In the book, The Great Gatsby, both Nick Carraway, the narrator, and Jay Gatsby are veterans of World War I. And it's Gatsby's war service that kicks off his rise from a Mr. Nobody from nowhere, in the words of Tom Buchanan, to the fabulously wealthy owner of a mansion on West Egg, Long Island. Michelle, something to add?
No, I just was saying that I read this book twice.
Oh, no.
I didn't choose to read this book twice.
Okay, that
It was assigned to me.
It's like I need to rethink this best friendship.
Oh, no.
Wow. Boy,
Man, this is
pile on Michelle Day.
not going well.
You did it willingly?
Okay, so beginning in and I find this part interesting even outside of, maybe that's what I'm expressing through this book is I've never read the book and I don't think I'd like it, but I'm interested in prohibition, right? So in early 1920, the U.S. government began enforcing the 18th Amendment, which banned the sale and manufacture of intoxicating liquors. But banning alcohol didn't stop people from drinking. Shocking. Instead, speakeasies and other illegal drinking establishments flourished. People like the Fitzgeralds made bathtub gin to fuel their liquor-soaked parties. The whole plot of, as I understand it, of The Great Gatsby is really driven by prohibition in somewhat important ways. So the only way in which Jay Gatsby becomes wealthy overnight is because prohibition created a black market, allowing bootleggers like Gatsby and his partners to amass staggering quantities of money in a short amount of time. And so prohibition, let me just say one more thing about prohibition. So as in the, say again?
I said it was dumb.
Well, yes. But as their wealth grew, many Americans in the 1920s broke down the traditional barriers of society. This, in turn, kind of provoked anxiety among upper class plutocrats. That's a hard word for me to say, too. Represented in the novel, who I mentioned earlier, by Tom Buchanan. So in The Great Gatsby, prohibition finances Gatsby's rise to a new social status where he can now court his lost love, Daisy Buchanan, whose voice, as Gatsby famously tells Nick in the novel anyway, is full of money. One of many unintended consequences of prohibition was that it created this accelerated upward social mobility. Fitzgerald is reflecting a preoccupation at the time that were these upstarts, as they would have said, these nouveau rich people who came from dubious backgrounds and then suddenly had all this money that were splashing money around. And so I have more, but I'll stop for a second. Any of the thoughts from the two of you?
I still maintain that while in this book, everyone sucks. I enjoyed it as a read, right? As a book,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But again, the characters are unlikable, and maybe that's part of the appeal to me, is that I wanted to keep reading about how much all of these people were the worst. Yeah, they kind of just were, and maybe hoping someone would get better, but no. And I do like the part that whether he intended it or not, I think it does point out that the American dream is kind of a lie, right? In that even if you make your own money, you're still going to get looked down on someone, right? So the whole, but it's I know I enjoyed it as a book.
Andrea, anything?
No.
Oh no. Okay, let me just close. Just a couple of other things here. I didn't mention this in the first time that we talked about this book, but Gatsby's shifty business partner, Meyer Wolfsheim,
Wow.
Shocking.
was based on real life New York gangster Arnold Rothstein, who had just widely believed had fixed the 1919 World Series. And Michelle, did you get that, or did I make it?
No, that's right. The Black Sox scandal.
Yeah. Okay, so though not all Americans were rich at this time, many more people than before had money to spend. And there were more and more consumer goods to spend it on, from automobiles to radios to cosmetics, household appliances. With the arrival of new goods and technologies came a new consumer culture driven by marketing and advertising, which Fitzgerald took care to include and implicitly criticize in the book, The Great Gatsby. Last thing, Gatsby's dreams of winning Daisy for himself end in failure, spoiler alert, just as America's era of prosperity would come to a screeching halt with the stock market crash of 29 and the onset of the Great Depression. By 1930, we know what the Depression was, sorry, but 1920, when Fitzgerald wrote The Great Gatsby, he seemed to have already foreseen the lasting consequences of America's romance with capitalism and materialism. And through this novel, he foreshadows the inevitability that the decadence of the 20s would, and later called the most expensive orgy in history, that would end in disappointment and disillusionment. So I've gone on enough now. I kind of got a sense of where we're at with that book, but Oh, Andrea,
I can't. And I'm gonna say this, and then
she's about to break the rules.
We're gonna lose 3 out of our 4 listeners/viewers. But I think another reason, when the 2020s came around and everybody was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have like a 20s inspired birthday party." Okay, that was me, and then there was COVID. Fuck you, COVID. But everybody's like, "Oh, the romance of the 20s, it's great." And love it, and a lot of it is because of fucking Leonardo DiCaprio making that shit Gatsby movie, and everybody's like, "This guy is great. This guy dates babies, and he has tiny hands." Just any movie you watch him in, he might be a great character. Tiny hands, but I very much resent this book. I resent the people in this book. I resent this, and I would be one of those people going, "Bitch, you haven't even read it. Shut up.
Bitch, you haven't even read it."
Exactly.
I read it once for you and once for me. You don't even go here.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. I've got a lot of big feelings towards this book. But it mostly manifests in its cockman oppressor author.
Thank you. Okay, so question about viewership, though. You just said something. If Mike and Lori watch this together, is that 1 viewer or 2?
Shout out to them.
What's up, Wilson?
2. And if Murph is with them, 2.5.
We have 2.5 listeners, folks. Thank you.
Dog.
Okay, so number 4, The Wasteland. This is a poem published in 1922, and it captured the spirit, we're back to the war again, capture the spirit of the post-World War I era with themes of disillusionment, fragmentation, and spiritual decay. It became a landmark work in the modernist movement, challenging traditional poetic forms and conventions. So Eliot's use of fragmentation, collage, allusions to a wide array of sources, really like ranging from classical literature and religious texts to popular culture and everyday language. So that broke from traditional narrative structures and really reflected modern life's fractured nature. The poem's innovative use of multiple voices and perspectives, combined with its intricate web of allusions, created a work of remarkable complexity and thematic depth. This invited active reader engagement and influenced generations of writers to come. Despite being written a century ago, I would say the poem's themes of disillusionment, fragmentation, and the search for meaning continue to resonate with us today, reflecting the complexities and challenges of modern life. Thoughts about The Wasteland?
I like it for like mostly all of those reasons. Like
Yeah.
I like that it had, different styles, that it referenced other works, which is the thing I love because that's how sometimes I find other things. That it was broken into sections and every section had its own kind of theme. I think it's quite brilliant in what it is.
Yeah. I know that's not a lot. I can't give you a lot with this because I agree with basically what you just said about why it does resonate, what Michelle agreed with. I don't feel that there's anything more that I can say about this. Yeah, so I won't.
Okay. Number 5, Mrs. Dalloway. So Mrs. Dalloway, the cultural impact here, significant cultural impact, I would say. So popularizing the stream of consciousness narrative technique. Now, we talked about this technique in other books, but it appears this book, the innovative use of stream of consciousness and multiple perspectives, this helped to define and develop modernist literature. Also explored timeless themes of identity, mental health, the human condition. And we're back to the novel is noted for its portrayal of post-World War I trauma. You could see in the 20s, at least in these books, I don't remember this in the movies as much that we talked about, but World War I and the effect of World War I on at least the people in America seemed to be pretty heavy in their pop culture. But so this portrayal of post-World War I trauma through the character of Septimus Smith. And then also this novel is noted for influencing feminist and queer literary criticism and later inspiring The Hours, Michael Cunningham's The Hours. But its depiction of a single day, which you all talked about, this idea of a single day, the interconnectedness of characters, this just continues to resonate with readers and writers today, reminding them the importance of seizing the present moment. So any other thoughts that we haven't discussed with Mrs. Dalloway?
No, I think I again just like the idea that she was able to give you so much depth in action that happens in a single day is just I think that she was uber talented and probably unappreciated in the field of all mostly male writers writing about the war, post-war.
And well, you just brought that part up when I had mentioned feminist and queer readings. So the novel's commentary on women's roles in the interwar society, and then Clarissa's repressed feelings for Sally Seton. Any more about any of that?
Well, Virginia Woolf was, I don't know, gender fluid. No.
I think maybe that's probably fair.
Okay, so I like that she didn't try to hide who she was. Her husband loved who she was, like knew. So I like that she didn't. there's a lot of authors or playwrights that you find out later, like, oh, they were a closeted homosexual, and this, she's like, this is the real world, boys, and I'm putting it all out there. And like I said last time when we talked about it, I think it was just too much for her mentally. But and she, you know, she was a victim of sexual abuse, and there was so much. But this, you know, like when you open a book, and with this, it's all in one day, but like you never expect that. Like when you open a book, you expect that it's going to be generational, or at least, you know, like the course of the story, which might be like May to December, you know, you really think that. And with this, to just like you said, to all of it in one day, different perspectives, touching on so many different things, I think is so well done. And I appreciate this book and its author very, very much.
Agreed.
Okay. Number 6. The Sun Also Rises. Let's talk about Hemingway. So The Sun Also Rises had a significant cultural impact by defining the lost generation. Back to World War I. So post-World War I disillusionment, influencing fashion and lifestyle. Oh boy. Establishing Hemingway's code hero archetype. This novel captured the era's moral decay, aimlessness, and search for meaning, making modernism accessible to a broader audience and cementing the concept of a generation grappling with the traumas of war. Let's talk about this code hero. So the key traits of Hemingway's code hero: courage and endurance. So confront danger and hardship head on, demonstrating physical and emotional resilience, honor and integrity, adhere to a personal code of conduct, valuing honesty, keep their word, emotional restraint. They typically avoid displaying overt emotions, especially in the face of suffering or pain. Individualism and self-reliance. They prioritize personal freedom, resist conformity to societal norms, and facing mortality. They're aware of death as an inevitable end, but confront it with dignity and without fear.
Oh, good on them.
Creating meaning in a meaningless world. They find purpose and value in living intensely and authentically, despite the absence of inherent meaning. Most of these, to me, read like Stoicism. There's a couple. So there, small s Stoicism talks about emotional restraint. Big S Stoicism does not. So even modern Ryan Holiday, you pick any modern Stoic, and they say it's that you're not supposed to suppress your emotions, just not act on them. But no matter what your feelings about Hemingway may be, I actually, when I was reading most of these, they resonated with me from that aspect alone. But any other thoughts or, Andrea, criticisms of Hemingway or The Sun Also Rises?
This is giving me a hot flash.
Oh boy.
I just don't like the dude. And
You say you don't like the dude or the Duke?
Either.
Oh, because
John Wayne?
Leave John Wayne alone?
We will
you don't like Hemingway?
Eventually.
Okay. You don't like Hemingway and you don't like this book?
I don't like Hemingway. I don't like this book. Like we talked about before, I don't believe he could blossom out of his reporter. And I don't don't dislike Ernest Hemingway like how I dislike F. Scott Fitzgerald. I don't. I think Hemingway was incredibly flawed, but I think he knows it. Whereas I think F. Scott Fitzgerald was like, I'm the tits. And no, you're not. But I do. I understand what Ernest Hemingway was trying to do. Do I understand that? No. As I say that sentence, I'm like, no, you don't. But I do think that he was a flawed individual, and this is how he kind of got his poison out. And remember, he had to be drunk to get this poison out. I mean, he did. He said he could never write. He couldn't write. Like, he talks about all the stories and books, and who knows if this is true or not, because I'll tell you this, it's like being drunk and you think you can dance. Maybe he was drunk and he thought he could write, you know? When you sober up, you go, ooh, no, I'm not good at this. But there is a point to this ramble. Um, I do realize what he's trying to do. I find his work boring, and I find him he just yeah. I've got something later to say about him, and yeah, I don't even know if I'll say it. I'll probably go to hell. I'm probably going to go to hell for all of this.
Like where you haven't pushed it far enough yet?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Why?
Michelle, any thoughts, or have we just gone over this enough?
Well, I mean, I would only add that, like, just Hemingway aside, for a book that if you just read a quick synopsis of, right, if you were just like, oh, it's got bullfighting and it's, and they're talking about the war and the effects of the war, I don't know that. Again, and I know I said this 100 times too, but it was not exciting. It was very just like, it kind of read like an article or oh, that's a really good way to put it, like a travel blog.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was not, I mean, I think it, and again, and I know, like, every English curriculum on the planet has this book on it, which is how I read it. Because as we all know, not a reader.
Yeah.
It was not exciting. I get that it also represents the time, but I think so do a lot of these others in the same, a little more exciting way.
Okay. Number 7, Siddhartha. So German writer Hermann Hesse wrote Siddhartha. This was published in 1922 after, in his life, several years of toil and trouble. This was translated into English in 1925, but it became a key text to transport the message of Eastern spirituality to the war-weary West. Hesse composed Siddhartha during an especially turbulent phase of his life. Shortly after beginning work on the book in 1918, he completed the first part of the book, but soon Hesse fell into a prolonged period of depression, an affliction he struggled with throughout his entire life. Struggling to carry the work to its conclusion, he decided to set it aside, at the risk of knowing, much to his despair, he was never going to complete this book. Because I would have, this is a quote from him, because I would have to depict the next phase of development that I have not yet fully experienced myself. Hesse's catharsis ultimately came from psychoanalysis, as well as his faith in the spiritual tradition he was depicting in this book. But most of all, it was lived experience that steered him to finish this long pending project. Hesse's unique synthesis of Eastern mysticism and the West gave his work an enduring popularity, especially through the rebellious 60s and 70s, when waves of avant-gardism in art and culture brought this book kind of back up. Even as late as in 2001, I just remember this story that Phil Jackson, who was then the LA Lakers coach, gifted a copy of this book to Shaquille O'Neal, hoping that Hesse's philosophical message would help O'Neal stay focused and grounded in the present moment. Harry Styles is a big fan of this book. Just throwing it out there for both of you. But really, this book, the themes of self-discovery, the search for meaning, the balance between worldly and spiritual life, the importance of personal experience, these are the things I think that continue to resonate with readers even today. Some of the famous people I mentioned, but just everyday readers. So it encourages introspection, which I appreciate, challenges readers to question their beliefs and find their own path to self-realization. This novel's exploration of concepts like mindfulness, living in the present moment, and interconnectedness of all things aligns with contemporary interest in personal growth and well-being, and with Sean. So any thoughts about this book?
I enjoyed this book. I love it for all the same reasons that you're saying. And that it also is, all these are about, most of them are, American life, right? The views of American life post-war. And this is just a very straightforward, it's not the right word, but it's a very here's just people who are trying to figure out who they are. And that's inner reflection. That's how you act with other people, how you treat other people, what you consider important. when, because there's the whole section about I could be with this woman and that will bring me joy, but the things that I need to do for her, I will not. It goes against everything that I've been working towards to find myself. So I like that there's an internal struggle. There's just self-reflection, and whoever your higher power is, that you're looking beyond yourself to find some kind of meaning. I liked it.
Andrea, anything?
I don't really have anything on this one.
Okay.
I don't. I've never read, like I said, I've never read it. I mean, I looked up everything, read about it, so I guess the close.
Apparently, it's shagadocious.
I've been waiting.
As soon as I heard the word shack, I looked at it was coming. Sorry.
Oh, so yeah, I don't.
Okay. Yeah, Phil Jackson was big into Eastern philosophy and spirituality, and shared it with Shaq. I don't know how Shaq took it, but that's okay. So number 8, the Maltese, Falcon. This book established a hard-boiled detective genre and the archetype of the morally ambiguous, cynical private eye, which in this case exemplified by Sam Spade. Michelle said in the last episode, or when we talked about this book, that it's Sam Spade. All of the detectives are either trying to be him or we think of him in the books or movies like this. But this book introduced classic elements like the dangerous femme fatale. I think Andrea talked about that also when we talked about this book. But intricate plots with betrayal, gritty, realistic portrayal of a corrupt urban world. And this actually was the first time we were moving away from the earlier, more romanticized detective fiction. This was far grittier and darker and dirtier. And then, we talked about the famous film adaptation, which I love, but that I think really solidified this book. If someone watched the movie and found it was based on the book, maybe went back and read the book. But Hammett's writing style here is characterized by objective narration and a departure from earlier detective fiction, like I said, reflecting his observations of a corrupt society and creating this gritty, realistic tone.
He had already started on the Nick and Nora books before this?
I would have to check
So,
that, but I believe
I feel like because
Nick
this
and Nora.
is 29, so
Nick and Nora had, and that was kind of fun, like, because, dude, late 70s, early 80s, Heart to Heart, fucking loved that show. That was Nick and Nora. I'm sorry, Sean. I asked you a question and then you probably had more, and
not at all. No, I think I think that Nick and Nora, I think that was before this, but I am not sure. Okay, we'll probably get maybe not a whole lot of comments.
Let us know in the comments.
One person yelling at us that we're dumb, but
I know.
Going
probably
back
Chris.
Probably Chris. Bridget O'Shaughnessy is the
I'm
quintessential.
sorry, Sean. Do you mean Oshag Hennessy?
I do not. I have lost all control of this podcast. But
You never had it.
Bridget O'Shaughnessy is the quintessential femme fatale. She used her appearance and supposed helplessness to manipulate men. And that was this showcased a new archetype of dangerous, ambitious women in fiction. And then when you add on top of it this intricate web of double dealings, betrayal, manipulation, I think that's what really just resonated with people when they read this book. So anything else?
No, I love, again, I think I mentioned this too last time about how it's like such a juxtaposition to, not to, pile on Hemingway, but like he wrote what he knew, but so did Hammett.
Yeah.
But he did it in he did it in such a much more interesting way, and kept himself out of it, if you will.
Well, that's what do you almost wonder though, because like you have no idea what any character, the style it's written in, you don't know what any character is thinking,
what they're thinking, right?
So
you can't. There's no insight to.
Yeah, like it's.
you know.
That's
Plus,
I love. It's a good Seamus.
Sam Spade is cool as
Spade.
fuck. Like, what do you?
He
Yeah,
is.
come on.
He's very cool.
Yeah.
It's a Seamus.
Okay,
Brother
Brother
Seamus.
Brother Seamus.
Got it.
R.I.P.
Number 9, The Mysterious Affair at Styles. This is Agatha
Very
Christie's debut novel, which was published in 1920. And this novel initiated Christie's prolific writing career, leading her to become one of the best-selling authors of all time, earning her the title the Queen of Crime. More importantly, this introduced Hercule Poirot, and who is just a beloved detective character, globally recognized. What's that, Andrea?
Isn't it a funny little Belgian man?
His meticulous attention to detail, reliance on his little gray cells, actually introduced a unique approach to solving crimes, and this influenced subsequent detective fiction as well. So the plotting, the clever plotting, the memorable characters, insights into human nature, all of the things that Agatha Christie brought into this is what I think made it enduring from a popularity standpoint, the adaptation standpoint. And this is really, in essence, this is more than just a detective novel. This is a foundational text in the genre, a testament to Agatha Christie's genius. And I would argue, this is just Sean speaking, but an enduring source of fascination for readers and audiences alike. Any other thoughts on this book?
No notes on this one. It's
just great, right?
Yeah, it's just great.
It really is.
It's really just great. And I love that they also like Sean, you mentioned when we were first going over it, that there's, maps of the house drawn into it, and that there's, you get a little piece of the will, and so you're drawn into, you become sort of part of it, right? You're invested in it, right? You're trying to figure it out too, right? Not just reading about it, but then you're trying to figure it out too.
Yeah, there was a podcast series done, which I'm surprised we have not heard about from Chris. In 2024, they did this as a podcast series. Listen to this cast: Rob Delaney, Peter Dinklage, who played Poirot, Phil Dunster, Patsy Farron, Jessica Gunning, Simon Kane.
Wait, so they did it like a radio play? A live radio play?
Yes.
Just this one?
Yes, I need to listen to this. This is insane.
I bet it's great.
Vivian Opara and Hemish Patel. This I need to find this.
That sounds
really, really, really good. Because I was looking to see. Sorry, Sean. I was looking to see if this had been done by the BBC or Channel 4 or something, because I was like, I want to watch it. Agatha Christie was a boss bitch. That time when she found out that her husband was fucking about, and then she disappeared herself and then checked into a hotel under the name of the chick he was banging. And she's never told anybody about people. There's only those missing. Which, by the way, Drunk History. I think Kirsten Dunst plays her. It's a fantastic. Thank you, Derek.
For real.
But this does, like you said, lays the foundation. This builds a character, and this is just the way it's done. I should have just stuck with no. I didn't have anything to add, but
okay, no notes.
Yeah.
10 minutes later. Number 10, our final book of our 10, Main Street. So Main Street, we did talk about this. I just want to double down on this idea that but before this book, there was a prevailing view of small town America, depicted as a bastion of traditional values and wholesome community spirit. In this novel, set in the fictional Gopher Prairie, Minnesota, so fitting, this served as a powerful counter-narrative exposing what he saw as the narrow-mindedness, conformity, and hypocrisy lurking beneath the surface of small-town life. The novel's realistic portrayal of small-town living and its critique of uncritical adherence to tradition resonated strongly with many readers, particularly those who felt stifled by the expectations and limitations in their own communities. So Main Street generated considerable discussion and debate about the nature of American society, pitting those who defended small town values against those who championed urban progressivism. Gosh. But the book's unflattering depiction, how dare, of small town life in Minnesota led to its banning in some places, including the public library in Alexandria, Minnesota. Andrea?
You're right, not small-minded at all.
So Main Street is considered a pioneering work of social commentary and realism in American literature. The novel's immense popularity led to the term Main Street becoming a widely recognized term to refer to the core of a typical small town in America, representing both the ideals and criticisms associated with that setting. The term Main Street used in broader context to represent the values and concerns of small businesses and everyday citizens, in contrast to larger entities like Wall Street.
So, Sean, are you saying, like, when people say, you know, in Main Street America, this is the origin of that?
From what I am finding, this is the origin of that term.
See?
And so when we talk about today, Main Street versus Wall Street, what I am finding is it came from this book.
See? You learned something.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, in essence, Sinclair Lewis's book, Main Street, played a pivotal role in shaping how Americans viewed their small towns and communities by challenging romanticized notions and providing a more realistic and critical portrayal of life outside of major urban centers. This novel left a lasting mark on American culture and literature up to, I think Andrea talked about before, if she hasn't on the podcast, is she had an idea of what small town living was going to be like. Not based on this book, but just like there's a sense of when you go to a small town, what it's going to be like. And in her one experience in small town, that wasn't true.
I know, but you would think the first book I read about a small town was Salem's Lot. I should have known. Stephen King's never done me wrong.
Never?
Get the fuck out of the town.
Okay.
Also, sleep with your windows shut. Okay.
Any thoughts about Main Street that we haven't discussed?
No, I think you covered it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're so let's try to.
That's a wrap. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, podcast is over. No. So we're talking top 5. The Weary Blues. Michelle.
I love the little boss breathing.
I didn't even take it.
Neither did I. I took it with Peggy,
God.
so I just use that.
Yes.
Andrea?
Yes.
I know that's a weird question because you suggested it.
No.
That's okay. Okay, number 2, The Velveteen Rabbit.
The boy just pushed me over. I'm going to say no.
Michelle, you're going to say
I'm also going to say no.
Oh.
Based on what else is on, listen, we will have more wholesome children's stories coming.
Okay.
I'm going to give this one up.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Rabbit.
No.
The Great Gatsby. Andrea?
Okay. Because the point of this is to show...
Andrea. That is the point. I did that for you, Sean, so that you didn't have.
is to send up to the aliens.
Mm-hmm. Just keep telling yourself as much as you need to.
This is reflective of the 20s. This
Correct.
is...
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Also, I want the aliens to know that as far back as the 1920s, America has busted its nut over a mediocre man.
That's going to become super apparent. Yeah. Don't you worry.
I vote yes.
Michelle?
Also yes.
I want to say I did not vote for Trump. Because right away I'd be like, you voted for Trump. I just want to say that.
I don't think anyone who's watching this is going to think.
You never know.
Okay. The Wasteland.
Based on what's left, I'm going to say no.
Andrea?
For the exact same reasons, I
know.
Go with my friend here.
I know. It's
Mrs. Dalloway?
Yes.
Andrea?
Yep.
Oh my God, we only have 2 more.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck.
This is so fun for me. The sun also rises.
No.
Andrea?
No.
Siddhartha.
Oh, damn it. I know. This is the part I was. God, based on that, we only have 2 left, right?
You have 2 left. We have 4 books. We have 2 left. Would you like me to read the list?
No.
No.
Okay.
That'll just make it worse.
It's going to make it worse because I'm going to say no. I'm saying
I'm
no.
also like, if Andrea gets an asterisk by Great Gatsby for why she put it in, then I want an asterisk by Siddhartha for why I'm going to say no.
Yes.
I really want to, but I'm going to say no. God,
The Maltese Falcon.
yes.
Can we just take the last 3? Do the aliens know math?
I have to believe that they do.
They're fucking smarter than we are. Trust.
That's a low bar, but yes,
Yeah.
they are.
God damn it. Maltese Falcon, yes.
The Mysterious Affair at Styles. And let me pause. Let me just do it this way. You have The Mysterious Affair and Main Street. You have to choose between those 2. So, Andrea, which one of
Because
those
of
2?
what it launched. It's killing me to leave Main Street behind. It is. I'm going to choose A Mysterious Affair at Styles.
Michelle?
Same, but I think we're gonna get more examples of the small town. We're gonna
Yeah.
get those later, so
Yeah.
I don't feel as bad leaving it off.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying.
Can we have in the 70s the song Harper Valley PTA? Because I feel that I can get total redemption.
Would you like to jump off the Tallahatchie
Okay.
Bridge?
So we've done it. We are at we have our top 5 books through some consternation and
Some.
other issues,
It
but our
hurts.
top 5
Yeah,
books
I
of the 1920s are The Weary Blues, The Great Gatsby, Mrs. Dalloway, The Maltese Falcon, and The Mysterious Affair at Styles. Those are our 5 books. As I say every week, and I mean it with my whole heart, thank you both for all of the research, the insight, everything that you brought to this episode. I know it wasn't easy, but that's the point. Don't forget, everyone, hit us up on our socials. We're on Blue Sky. You can, if you want to watch this, it's on YouTube. If you want to listen or watch, we're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon. And yeah, if you want to yell at us about our picks or, make fun of something I said, hit us up on our socials. If you're enjoying what you're hearing, then tell a friend or 2. Let's try to spread the word, and we'll just keep trying to bring it every week. So until next week, take care of yourself. We'll see you then.